What is going on YouTube? This is Acid Root. So I'm going to review the third official mixtape by Nelly based on this product. It's called Scorpio Season. It came out in the fall of 2012. Now the thing about this particular product here, you may be thinking that this is actually Nelly's second official mixtape because the only real official other one he dropped was OEMO, which came out in the fall of 2011 or around that particular time as far as what's first going to happen. But there is actually another project floating around that at least was kind of a pseudo Nelly mixtape that he kind of hosted, pitches like that. That was a DJ drama mixtape that came out in like 2004. And I'm not sure if there were actually any other Nelly float arounds as far as this pitch can have within the aspect as far as having some of those type ones that could have had like spare kind of songs that he would have done in like the mid 2000s, 2003, 2006, some of those type eras. But if there are, I would definitely like to get to them. But I'm not sure if it not sure if it full bound as much official kind of happened, but Nelly did at least drop two full bound projects with new songs on there, one of which was OEMO from 2011, and then there was this one the year later. So within pitches like that, Scorpio Season is another classic here within some of that type fare. It's just a stopgap for Nelly as far as this pitch can happen, just because of the concept that 5.0 came out in late 2010, which did good, had one of his best comeback singles for like the longest time as far as this pitch can happen, his biggest hit since Girls way back into that. Nelly's biggest hit since the hit song, #1 song, Grills, back in like the mid 2000s. But basically, that was a pretty quiet album besides that particular hit, Just a Dream from 5.0. So it's just kind of the pitch. The other singles just didn't do that terrific. Then Nelly basically disappeared, but he did drop the 2011 mixtape OEMO, which I'm going to get to down the road as far as what's first going to happen. Then he also had some buzz singles off this particular product. So it's just kind of the appeal. I looked around to see if there are any music videos off this product or any charting singles, something like that, and there really weren't. But I do remember at least like some mild kind of commotion being treated as if it was maybe not so much full bound getting rotation as much full bound. But I want to say that Merry Go Round with Chris Brown was at least attempted to be kind of like a buzz song for some of those type pitches. And there are some other moments on here, like I feel like Country Nigga Fly is probably something that could have been like a buzz single as well. Just it has similarities like the song CNF, Country Nigga Fly, has similarities to Country Grammar Hot Shit from way back in the year 2000 as far as this pitch can have. So it's just an aspect as far as saying just the original type format. It's the initial type format of some of that particular type fare within the aspect of it. And there are some other buzz type moments on here, like I feel like MJ packed in this bitch, Go with a few of the Saint Lunatics on there. The song Go has Murphy Lee and City Spud, who was one that got jailed way back in 2000, 2001, fairs like that. So some good pitches that at least a little bit of the Saint Lunatics is on here with the song Go. That probably could have been a buzz single, like I was saying, MJ and Packed in this bitch, or some further type ones, and even songs like Slow Motion Master Plan. There's plenty of good buzz commotion. It's actually a pretty commercial mixtape. I would say this is probably like a vanilla mixtape here, just kind of amongst the format. Just being able to say and stuff that Nelly was banner enough to be able to say that he still had like a relative kind of buzz about him within the pitch, that this was kind of a good look to be able to scoop up some of this to get like some extra Nelly treats as far as those aspects kind of happen just within the tone, as far as him not really as much full bound putting out an album but still having the aspect of getting some more some more stuff out within the context of it. So it's just kind of the fair, particularly because his 2013 album MO did not really do that superbly terrific either. It had like a hit song, Hey Portia, on there, but that really was only like a top 50 single, and the rest of the songs off that particular album didn't chart that heavily. So it's just kind of within the pitch. Folks were shifting. Even in 2013, folks were kind of shifting even past Flow Rida as far as those fairs can have. So it's just within the pitch that pop rap was kind of in an awkward era, and Nelly was just kind of on more of like the hungry kind of mixtape grind as far as those fairs can happen. But yeah, this is a classic here. Recommend every single song minus one of them. I'm not going to count the Scorpio Season intro because it's not really a song, just really talking pitches like that on there. The only song I don't recommend in any fashion is just the Do It remix, which just has some folks on there. It's just kind of a posse song that was just kind of a mixtape buzz type song that just didn't have as much affluence, but it has Nelly, Yo Gotti, Jeremiah, Gucci Mane, Travis Porter. This was not as affluent as Full Bound. I feel like the Cashing Out remix was just hit a lot more hitting. This mixtape's still going to get a 10 out of 10 though, just what I had to say. So I'll probably talk about it as if there were at least two singles. I would have to say I definitely feel like Merry Go Round and Country Nigga Fly were probably the two singles within the pitch behind it. There's plenty of other good commercial bops on here, but just within the pitch, these are the closest ones to something I think that would be the attention grabbers in terms of the aspect for folks that remember songs like Grills and Dilemma and Hot in Here, some of those type ones, and Air Force One, some of those type pitches within the aspect behind it. Some of those type fares, Just a Dream within the newer census. So I look after it. say. On top of that, Merry-Go-Round has a Chris Brown hook, who he was kind of doing a good assortment of hooks back in like the early 2010s. He was really starting to get his shine on as far as his pitch can happen. So it's just some good type fare. So it's a good, nice one here. Kind of has like some mild kind of EDM flavors about it, which is a good type pitch, just because the leftover traces that worked as a pretty good buzz to help bolster Nelly some more as far as this pitch can happen. It's a good type look. It's kind of a secret Nelly song within a pitch. I mean, I would say it's kind of secondary within the format, not in terms of quality, but just within the pitch as far as folks who know enough about Nelly to be able to say, when you get past like the later Nelly singles, like when you think of Hey Portia, and when you think of like Just a Dream, some of those type ones, they're just more makeshift and kind of more workaday kind of heartland ones. This is kind of one that's just a little bit more social commotion for you and your pals. This is kind of a later Nelly song that has some social flavor about it that's past like his early 2000 days. So it's good type pitch. Merry-Go-Round's like a good buzz single and attention grab, but I'd say here just Nelly back on his ish and like newer eras as far as those pitch can have. So it's just good type flavor. Good type flavor, really has those particular aspects about it as far as like some heat, as far as those pitches can happen. Just good type conduct here. Just really feels like a Pitbull or Lil Jon type song, just with Nelly on it instead as far as those pitches can happen. Nelly and Chris Brown make a pretty good combination with an aspect behind it. So just a good buzz type bop. Good things, kind of get things percolating and real hopping as far as those pitches can happen. And then yeah, I would say that Country Nigga Fly, at least in my opinion, would probably be another single just to stay within the pitch. This is at least two of the most immediate ones in terms of like the most kind of casual type sense of something, the closest thing to like Nelly's old days. So Country Nigga Fly is like a vintage kind of glitzy 2000s Texas Fried kind of mixtape gem kind of get here. Just the vanilla kind of pull up. It's kind of a vanilla kind of pull up song within a pitch behind it. Just song for some spaz in as far as those pitches kind of happen. Country Nigga Fly just definitely feels like something that Paul Wall or Bun B, one of those type folks, would have done like 2006, 2008, some of those type fairs just in the pitch behind us. It's just good type flair for some of that particular type conduct. Real good song spaz too, like I was saying, just good concept of this, getting tore up within the pitch. But just kind of, it really has like the sleek and kind of slick type factor, just like, you know, typical kind of gloss of just like pull up type noise within the pitch behind it, hearing from a couple blocks away, some of those type fairs, just standard noise and stunt type music, just good type pitch with some of that. Just kind of Nelly, kind of on like a gloss type sense, kind of takes like the country twang of like the early 2000s just with like a pitch is something that's just a little bit more ripped out of like the late 2000s, just with like a slick factor real high as far as this pitch kind of goes. So just good type taste for that. So yeah, every song in here recommend, minus the one I was talking about before, just the Do It remix. So the only song that's really in like a mixtape type format that's really not an original song by Nelly is just Cashing Out, which just is a vintage kind of, I need to get to this particular cat, which is, his name was actually Cash Out, so good type fare to get to that particular cat. He dropped mixtapes back in the early 2010s, typical kind of Atlanta type sound. It's good type pitch here. This like a stock kind of hella ripped kind of early 2010s mixtape hit and a definite slammer, I'd have to say. Not talking about this one that's full bound just because the pitch behind it is just, I'm going to get to that Cash Out mixtape eventually as far as those fares can happen, but it's just a typical type hit from like 2011, 2012, 2013, some of those type fares within the fare behind it. It's Nelly basically on some of that Atlanta type sound that really works pretty heavily, so good type fare. Go is a nice one here. This, like I was saying, has Murphy Lee and then City Spud, which is a good type pitch, because there weren't too many common Nelly songs with City Spud past like the early 2000s when he went to prison. Good type fare, just vintage St. Lunatics hit. So it's like a vintage kind of late 2000s strip club and mixtape noise kind of get here. It just feels ripped out of 2007, 2008 with some of those Jeezy kind of Atlanta, kind of more brassy strip club type moments. Jeezy and Rocco and Blood Raw, some of those type folks, just pitches like that. Just kind of a rowdy social heat to kind of get here. Just run up the tab, I'd say, with hella drinks, pitches like that. Good song to get crunk too. So the aspect here. So this is just like mixtape flavor, just ripped out of 2007, 2008. Just good type pitch for that. This is probably like the concept of what Nelly probably would have done had he put mixtapes out around that time if he really didn't. But it's just some good aspects there. Good type flavor. Takes it back to like the Brass Knuckles days, some of those type pitches, and Jeezy Cold Summer days. So good type flair. Type of Shit I Be On is a nice one as well. It's like a glossy kind of Jim Johnson like beat. It's not actually by Jim Johnson. I think it's by like this cat named Detail. It's by like this cat named Detail, but it definitely reminds of like a Jim Johnson type beat ripped out of like the late 2000s, something like Live Your Life, or basically reminds of like a mixtape kind of Whatever You Like by T.I. Just the same sort of poppy kind of dewy type format, just something, one of those type ones that just feels like the fall of 2008, winter 2009, some of those type pitches within the fare behind it is good type fare for that. Live Your Life, Whatever You Like, that song that T.I. did, like some of those songs like No Matter What, some of those type pitches, just real good pop rap just within the fare behind it. Just tipple type fare, some of that good type pitch. One of the craziest songs on this mixtape in terms of the ferocity is Packed in This Bitch. It's like a snaring and sleek kind of venue furor to kind of get within those aspects. This dance energy definitely high, and this like a routine kind of get ham. So it's just kind of the pitch of this usual roundup, but just like the conduct of just getting. This just has some usual roundup like the standard fare, just getting tore up within a pitch. Just kind of the typical kind of dance kickoff within some of that just crazy type factor. Ghost is like a pretty good 1-2 punch with like Party People. So same sort of viciousness, but I'd say actually that this particular song, Party People, is definitely one of Nelly. I definitely feel like Party People is one of Nelly's most feral songs in terms of the aspect that just really feels like one that you could really get pretty tore up to. But I feel like Packed in This Bitch actually tops that one in terms of craziness. Not as casual bound as Party People. It's a good type pitch to be able to have some of that crazy type factor that Nelly does occasionally avert from, like the pop rap type fare, just be able to have some of these tore up type ones when you think of folks that are more typical in that format, like Gucci Mane and some of those type folks, and Slim Dunk and some of those type folks, Just Rich Gates, folks like that. So some good type fares that Nelly kind of switches occasionally from like vanilla to get to some of these good type pitch. 4 in the Morning is another good example of that. It's like a second win, kind of extra energy for this late in the night, I'd have to say here. It's a kind of surprising one. You would think that this particular one would be more of like a song of like 1 o'clock in the morning, but it's a pretty excellent type pitch. That a vicious type quality of this, just the tore up type feeling about this particular one really is at 4 in the morning. Just amidst like the kind of this extra kind of energy and pitches like that, just some good type fares. It's like a house party blitzer, definitely kind of get here an overall lit type one. So I just like the format of this. Just not being tired, ready for bed pitches like that, ready to retire for the night, some of that type fare. But actually I miss like the conduct of probably being even awake with the particular energy of this song as far as like 8 or 9 in the morning as far as what's going to happen. Definitely getting crunk pitches like that 4 o'clock in the morning, then heading to IHOP 4 hours later, having some good pancakes, some of those type fares, and then going to sleep probably like brunch hours. Good type pitch. So yeah, I definitely say 4 in the morning is like a good riled type one. Slow Motion Master Plan is an excellent one as well. It's like a sleek and butter smooth kind of mixtape hit to kind of get this very similar to Drink in My Cup by Kurt Cobain as far as what's going to happen. Has a beautiful hook on there, just excellence just within the pitch behind it. It's really good type fare that has some commercial aspects. I think I would definitely have to say if Nelly was just aiming for like mixtape type hits, just something like a relative buzz type format, this would have been a pretty good choice to have made like a music video tour. This would have been a pretty good song to have made a music video for and just kind of let that crest in like a modest kind of sense within the pitch behind it. Just real nice affable type one. Secret Nelly hit here, not as commonplace, but just within the pitch that this just has a real affable kind of casual sense. Just more like a smoother type one, just sleeker within the aspect, but definitely works for the format of it. Just very much on Kurt Cobain's and some of those type folks. Drake within a certain sense type format. MJ is a quality one as well. It's like a good trendy kind of early 2010s pop rap. MJ is like some good trendy kind of early 2010s pop rap just within the format of this. Like a good uncommon kind of alternative to Flow Rider within the pitch behind it. Just kind of a razzly hit. So this has like the relative glitz of like a song like Packed in This Bitch, but it's just a little bit more pop rap in mind. This kind of more of like a vanilla type one that's kind of halfway SFW within the pitch, but just kind of the format that does have some good tore upness. So B.O.B. is on here from like his early 2010s days, like Adventures of Bobby Ray and Strange Clouds, some of those type bears is within that particular format of those particular days. So Nelly makes a pretty good combo with B.O.B. to some of those type pitches where B.O.B. for a little while kind of had some of that flair. He was like an alternative to Flow Rider back in those early 2010s type days. But I look after Discipline Pitch as far as saying it's basically Nelly putting his spin on some of the sounds like 2011, 2010, some of those type pitches, 2012 within some of those type formats of like pop rap as far as what's going to happen. So Nelly's still a pro at doing pop rap, just kind of pitch that he was kind of off to the wayside around this time, but I definitely think he had the capabilities behind doing it. It's just too bad that some of these projects just didn't collect a lot more attention. From what I remember, this actually did have a decent amount of downloads on Datpiff back in the day. I want to say this had at least 100,000, maybe 250,000, something like that. I mean, it did better than it did, and this is definitely a pretty vanilla mixtape within the format. I think enough folks kind of paid attention towards it. I know it had at least a certification on Datpiff. Don't remember what it was, but it definitely had quite a few. Just being able to say things like that. Like That is a nice one. This has Trey the Truth and Busy Crook on here. It's like a sleek kind of cruise around, I'd have to say, an outing kind of ruminate to kind of get within some of that just kind of social thoughts, just pitches like that out and about, just kind of airy kind of bills pay pitches like that, just kind of feeling fine, kind of hop within some of that type fare. Just kind of the concept of like Target runs, post office runs, getting stamps, getting some grub pitches like that. It's kind of the format is kind of in a slick type sense. So it's just similar to like Country Nigga Fly, just without as much recreation in mind. It's kind of the concept of like some in-between type moments. So like that's just a good song to situate, just good typical type one for like some extra time as far as this pitch can have a good type fare. Girl Drop That's kind of within a similar type sense that and more in between type moments, but just not as much cruise around. This is like a glossy kind of in between moments that I'd say here. Just check phone, load some weed up, pitches like that, just kind of situate for some prime time as far as this pitch kind of happen. Maybe if you're hanging out with pals, like the ball game hasn't happened for like a 2 or 3 or 4 more hours, some of those type pitches, just in between type moments, getting tore up, some of that type fare, just getting a cold beer out of the fridge, some of those type pitches, Bella's getting ready to show up, some of those particular type fares, just within the concept, just looking after the time. I mean, I look after this, it's kind of like a house party type tune within the pitch, but it's just not as ferocious as some of these type ones, like Packed in This Bitch and MJ, Country Nigga Fly, some of those type of ones, I'd have to say within pitch behind it, merry-go-round, some of those type formats, so it's just kind of more, just brewing type moments more so than the full bound just carnage of it, but it just is kind of extra noise kind of for some of that social pizzazz of just needing more moments apart from just like the blitzing kind of shake your ass full bound crazes like, house party carnage pitches like that. So it's just kind of extra melded type moments. Then Hangover, I think this last one I haven't talked about on here, but Hangover's a nice one as well. It's like a feeling kind of leftover buzz, but still productive, and like a dismantled push kind of aspect here. Just good for some fun outings, just pitches like that. So I like the format of this particular song, Hangover, as far as this pitch kind of happened. Just kind of tore up within a sense, but still kind of in a productive type mood. Just kind of the aspect of just like, it's not necessarily wanting to go lie down pitches like that. Not necessarily the concept of just being wore out and kind of done for the day, but just kind of pitch it. Just productive. Just got to get some stuff done within the format, whether it is like 7 o'clock in the morning as far as those pairs can happen. Got to figure out how you're going to get your day started or pitches, or it is kind of like 1 o'clock, something like that, where it's just kind of the after effects of what's kind of particularly going on. It's a good type format here. Hangover songs are always kind of welcome within a pitch as long as they're not in like a rotten mood, some of those type formats, but it's just kind of the concept. This is not necessarily like a glissy kind of pound your chest like a gorilla type song within the pitch, but it's just kind of a format, just having some of those extra kind of scuzzy type moments, just like the in-between of just kind of like getting straightened as far as those pitch caps. It's just good type fare for some of that, just the pitch behind it, just Nelly on that particular format. It's a good uncommon type one that never showed up on any of his albums, so it's just good type pitch. Just like I said, works for some fun outings, just dealing with like the concept of what particularly happened, just the concept of straightening as far as those pitch caps. So good type tone. So this mixtape gets a 10 out of 10. Talked about every one of these songs on here as far as those formats kind of happen. It's looking after, I would have to say social score is probably going to get probably like a 9.75. I would give it a 10 out of 10 just because all these pop-in type ones is definitely a format. I feel like this is a vanilla enough mixtape that's made enough noise, but still kind of quieter. Nelly did not really have any charting songs off this. He does have some guests on here. Detail gives some good beats. B.O.B. is on here. Murphy Lee is on here. City Spud is on here. Chris Brown has a hook on here. There's some good overall moments, some good hooks on here, some great production, some of that type fair social pizzazz, plenty of house party, EDM type moments and pitches like that. It's kind of the concept of this, the standard kind of Friday, Thursday type music in a free type format. The fact that this project's free is pretty excellent within the pitch. It just nails these particular vibes. Not really a ton of makeshift songs on here, but it's kind of the pitch. I think that's more within the format. I think probably minus like maybe a song like, oh, I don't even know what song. Probably Go would be like the closest thing, but even then, I feel like this is pretty makeshift shy within pitch bond. That's the only thing this product particularly lacks, is like a makeshift kind of vanilla type single that's particular of Nelly's days, but that's the only format. Just getting like some buzz rippers as far as this pitch kind of having this kind of aspect here. Good type format, but for the most part, it's just kind of a secret Nelly type project that has the hits on here. It's just kind of concept. It's just quieter. You have to know about it within the pitch. It's definitely worth looking into if you know Nelly's older hits. It kind of has like these kind of ones that are just kind of melded within the pitch that are just kind of, they're definitely good songs, but they just don't have like the full bound kind of headway of like the songs that he did back in the early 2000s as far as being like a top 1, top 3, top 5 singles, some of those type pitches. But it's not like they're bad in any sense. So 9.75 social. In terms of feature, like Nelly has not put out a product since either 2021 or 2022. He dropped like some sort of compilation in 2022. That's the last thing I remember him doing. But he did drop the Heartland album in 2021. I have like 3 more Nelly projects to get to within some of those type fairs. Just MO, the OEMO mixtape from 2011. If there is some new Nelly stuff, I'll get to that 2004 mixtape I talked about with DJ Drama, and then Heartland from 2021. But the virtual pitch behind, I've reviewed almost all of Nelly's projects, so some excellent type fare here. But this is a classic, just full bound within the pitch, kind of a secret kind of Datpiff era. Has some secret treats on here, definitely worth it.